Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the British Tier 6 Premium Heavy Tank, the Tog II. So is it any good? Hell yes! It is absolutely awesome and is way overpowered. What a tank. It is the one and only premium tank I have ever purchased. And the only reason I purchased it was that I belong to a clan called Tog, which stands for the older gamer. You have to be 25 years or older to join. Now, we in Tog, nearly all of us have bought a Tog tank because it's the same as our name. So when we have Tog nights, we all drive Togs. So that's the only reason I bought it. And holy smoke, what a tank! I'll get into the review and explain why this thing is so overpowered. It has 1400 hit points. That is huge. Let me explain how huge that is. The next best in Tier 6 is the Churchill 7, which has 960 hit points. So 1400 is massive. This tank weighs 82 tons, which is way heavier than any other tank. The next closest is the M6 with 59 tons. So if anybody rams you, they're basically committing suicide. So it's pretty much unrammable. I've had so many tanks explode. I've even got kamikazes in this tank because tanks of higher tier ram me and just kill themselves. The speed of this tank though is shocking. It only does 14 kilometers an hour. And don't expect much more downhill. You probably get 15, 16. A lot of times people come and push you to help you get to the front faster, and it usually speeds you up from 14 to 15 kilometers an hour. It doesn't do much. And it only does 7 kilometers an hour in reverse. So the speed is a serious flaw in the tank. But the traverse speed, track traverse speed, is 20, which is actually average for a Tier 6 tank. So it turns okay. Now, the turret traverse for this tank is 32. It's the best of any Tier 6 heavy tank. 32 is pretty fast. The next best is the Churchill 7, which is 31, and the best after that is the M6 with 29. 32 is great turret traverse. Now, the view range of 360 is the equal second best. The only one better is the German VK3601H, which has 370 view range, and the Churchill 7 has 360 the same. Other than that, it's equal with the Churchill, so it's great view range. Signal range of 570 is average. So the only thing we've come up with that's not good about this tank so far is its speed. But I know what you're saying. It's huge. Camouflage must be terrible. You know what? The camouflage is average. Yeah, the KV2 is much worse because it's really huge with a big turret. The M6 has worse camouflage. This has the same camouflage as the ARL-44. It's not too bad. Now, admittedly, it is very long, so it's hard to hide, and it is very high as well. So it's a big target, and artillery does love you because you're slow and very big. And you're also, like I say, you're a big target, so you're easy to hit from that point of view, and slow-moving target. So those are the a couple of negative points, but there's not many negative points to this tank. Gun depression, fantastic. 10 degrees of gun depression, which is excellent. So in theory, it could be a good hill fighter, but it's a bit too slow to really hill fight. But the gun depression does come in handy. So, and that's the equal best gun depression of Tier 6 tanks. The heavy tanks, the M6 and ARL-44 both also have 10 degrees of gun depression. And this one has 20 degrees of elevation, which is also good. So let's have a look. Well, there's no grind to have a look at, so I'm not going to have a look at the grind because it's a premium tank. It's already ready to go. Let's have a look at the gun. Now, this gun has a rate of fire of 12, which is very good. Penetration of 171, which is very, very good for a Tier 6 heavy tank. And damage of 150, which is a little low, but combined with that rate of fire, you will rip other tanks to pieces. 0.36 accuracy, pretty good. Good at medium range and short range, wonders a little bit at long range. Aiming time of 2.3, pretty good for a Tier 6 heavy tank. The gun is awesome. Now, to show you just how awesome this gun is, let's have a look at the gun for the Tier 7, not Tier 6, Tier 7. British heavy tank, the Black Prince. Let's get your gun up, Black Prince, your top gun here. Hang on a second, it's exactly the same gun. The only difference is on the Black Prince, the accuracy is slightly better. It's 0.34 against 0.36 on the Tog. So basically, we have the British Tier 7 heavy tank gun on a Tier 6 tank, and it's a premium tank. It gets premium matchmaking. You will never ever see any tank higher than Tier 7. But the Black Prince is a Tier 7 tank that sees up to Tier 9 with that same gun. You will tear people to pieces with this gun in Tier 6 and Tier 7. This tank is so overpowered. To give you an idea, here's my Type 58. Let's have a look at the penetration on this gun. 128, 160 versus 171, 150 on the Tog. Same rate of fire. Let's have a look at the KV-1S. KV-1S, we all know, does mega damage. Has 175 pen versus the 171 on Tog, but only has a 3.75 rate of fire, so the Tog can outshoot it. Let's have a look at the Hellcat. These are ones I've just got in my garage, so it's easy to look at. 160 pen versus 171 on the Tog. Does more damage, 240, but it's got half the rate of fire. Similar accuracy. So, golly, it's a good tank. It's a beast. Now, disadvantages of this tank, sure. Side and rear armor is weak. It's high, and it's long, and it's slow. So Artie loves you. And people can shoot you in the sides pretty easily. Strong points, fantastic gun, fantastic matchmaking, great gun depression. You can park behind friendly tanks who are massed up and shooting around corners and stuff, and just shoot over the top of them, so you're only showing your turret because you're so high. The turret traverse is fantastic, best in its class. Has the most hit points, you can absorb a lot of damage, and it's almost impossible to ram. Now, I have optics fitted to this tank because you have to keep moving because it's so slow, so there's no point having binoculars. And I don't bother using a camouflage net for the same reason, you're never stationary. I have super heavy spore liner. Anybody rams me, it cuts their damage in half and helps reduce damage from artillery. If they penetrate you, they still do full damage. If they don't penetrate, you halving the damage from them. And I have vents fitted to help increase everything. Carrying a small repair kit, large repair kit, and a large med kit. My crew is all 100% trained, and I've got vents, so the crew is overtrained, you could say. Command has 6 cents in repairs. Everybody else has repairs, and some of them have camouflage as well. And I have signal boosting, sorry, with my radio guy. Clutch braking I'm working on. And I have snapshot as well to increase accuracy a little bit on the move. Okay, let's have a look in Tank Inspector and then get into some fantastic games for you. I forgot to mention, one of the reasons you get a premium tank is to train your crew. So for example, if there's a 5x5 or x2 event on, you can run your crew in your normal heavy tank, then put them in your premium tank and run them again and train that crew up. So basically you never have a crew you just use in your premium tank. You use them in other tanks and drag them into your premium when you play premium. The other reason I do it is I've got an FV215B, the tier 10 premium heavy, but I always lose money when I run tier 10 tanks. Well, not always, but most of the time I lose money, especially if we lose the game. So you can see I've got no crew in it because they're all in my Tog at the moment. So I don't bother running the tier 10 heavy unless I'm playing Clan Wars, and I just run the crew in my Tog II. So my entire FV215B is in Tog II. Now not only am I training the crew, but I make good money because it's a premium tank. Even if I have a disastrous game, I still make a profit in the Tog because it's a premium tank. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of crew in this Tog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 4 in the FV215B, so I'm also training 2 crew from another heavy tank at the same time. So because it's got a lot of crew, it's also great for that. Alright, let's get into the Tank Inspector. So let's have a look at the Tog II Armour in Tank Inspector. Straight to the colorized view. Now bear in mind this never sees anything higher than tier 7, so you're not going to have tier 8 tanks ever shooting at you. The frontal armour is 76 mils thick, and indeed the turret up here is as well. You can see most of the armor around here is 76 mils thick. Now the front section, the lower front section here is quite sloped, and we're getting sort of, if I look at that, we're getting the equivalent of around about 83. If I look at the lower plate, it's ricochet because it's very sharply angled, but the upper glacis here, about 83. And the rest of it, yeah, 76 mils thick, and it will stop a lot of small shots from smaller guys. If you're angled, yeah, okay, you know, we're getting a fair bit more there, as you can see on the equivalent. So yeah, it is worth angling the tank. If you can see though through the tracks here, this green section, if you get just above the tracks here, it's only 25 mils of armor. So if you can get into there when it's angled, say get in just there, it's quite good. You have to be close or accurate to do it. If you hit the tracks, it's actually quite difficult to get through, as you can see. So if you hit the tracks, if you miss, you're in trouble. But if you can get that spot, that is a weak spot of the tank. Also, the driver's viewports are a weakness and are only 64 millimeters thick. And you can see they're also on the turret here. These areas here are 64 millimeters thick. Now, having those on the turret, yeah, it's a bit of a problem. They're pretty small though, but it's not a bad trade-off considering you don't have a cupola on this tank, which is kind of nice. There's no cupola. Alright, so sides of the tank. Well, side of the turret. Oh, I didn't talk about the front of the turret. Front of the turret, we have a section in the center which is quite strong. The mantlet is 114, which is pretty good. And then we have the section next to it, which is the same as the front hull, which is 76, but it starts to slope away, so you're getting equivalent of, you know, around 90, around 100, so it's not too bad. On the sides of the tank, we have the same sort of armor, 76 mils, but we have obviously a couple of enormous weak spots, i.e. this big hatch on the side here, which only has 64 millimeters, and the rear of the tank, which isn't fitting in the picture here, is also only 64 mils. So if you have the side of the Tog and you want to guarantee your penetration, aim at the rear third of the tank, or aim below the turret. That's an easy way to remember. Below the turret, you've got the weaker section. This pink section here is actually spaced armor. Don't shoot that because you can see it's overlaying, it's 64 mils overlaying 51. Sorry, it's 51 overlaying 64, so you'll have a lot of trouble getting through there. And any lower, you're just hitting tracks, nothing else. The rear of the tank is pretty weak though, at 51 mils. However, it is heavily sloped, so it does actually provide not bad protection. So yeah, not actually that weak. Now the top, we can see here, the top deck is 25 mils, which is actually not bad. 25 mils on the top deck of tanks not bad. So it can actually, sometimes HE shells from artillery, lower tier artillery, won't penetrate you, and your super heavy spall liner, if you have one fitted, will actually absorb a fair bit of damage. The top of the turret though isn't so good. It's 19, but it's not too bad. There's a lot of tanks that only have 10. And there's a section here at the front top of the turret, which is a slope section, which is 53 mils thick, which is quite good. That means people here just trying to shoot the top of your turret are going to have, well, ricochet, but even if they're a little bit higher, they're still got, you know, pretty tough to get through. All in all, it's not bad armor for its tier. Okay.
Time to roll out.
The map is Murovanka. And as you can see, lots of people make comments about Togs when there's Togs on the map. Especially because I'm in a platoon with a couple of my platoon mates. They are Grievous and Eric. And you can see the guys there coming along. Who's that at the back? Getting a push. That was Grievous at the back getting a push, and there's Eric next to me. He's about to get a push as well. So Eric's from our Tog II division, which is our social division. So you don't need to be in clan wars to do that. And Grievous is from our Tog IR division. So we have our Division 1 means that you want to compete in clan wars and have a bit of fun in clan wars, and it is great fun. But you need really tier 8 and above tanks to compete in clan wars. Tier 10 is best, but tier 8 at least you can help out. And now the guys come out to give me a push, KV1S here. And our Tog II and Tog IV divisions are for people who just want to socially platoon up like we're doing now. Or you just want to have people to talk to or play with and stuff like that. So Anyway, here we go. So there's 3 of us. Now 3 Togs in a game like this. It is a tier 7 game just. There's only one tier 7 tank, and it's a tank destroyer on the other team. Oh no, and we've got 1 tier 7 as well. So really it's a tier 6 match. Now 3 Togs like this are devastating when they all move towards the front line in a mass like this, because there's just so many hit points that it's very hard for the enemy to whittle you down, and because the firepower is so intense. So we've got 3 tanks here which have fantastic penetrating guns. We can pretty much penetrate any one of these tanks we want. We don't do a lot of damage, we've got very high rate of fire. So basically 12 rounds per minute is 1 every 5 seconds, isn't it? 5 12s are 60, aren't they? So yeah. So every 5 seconds one of us is firing. There's 3 of us, so basically every couple of seconds there's a shell hitting a tank. And who do they shoot at? You know, we've got other tanks here as well. The other thing in a Tog, when you come out like this, people will tend not to shoot you. They will shoot you when you're on your own. Right now, I think that was Grievous just took out that tank there. They'll shoot you when you're on your own, but when you're in a mass like this with other tanks, they shoot the other tanks first, because you're too hard to kill in a Tog. You take too long. So the other tanks are quicker to kill, so they shoot the other tanks before they shoot you. So as you can see, these guys now are just trying to run. They're trying to, yeah, they're retreating, because what can they do? They've just got a wall of hit points coming at them with guns that can't be stopped. And see that? That KV-1S actually bounced off me there. So the armor can be effective. He's got 171 pen, but he still bounced off me. Let's see if we can see where he bounced. I don't know if it's going to show up. It's the front of my hull, or the turret perhaps. No, I can't see where he bounced. It might have been, he may have hit that lower spaced armor with the track. So now we're chasing after this Nashorn, if we can catch up to him in time. No, he's been killed already. So I've got to turn around. Now I can see here there's a Panzer IV ST behind us. Just shot our KV-1S. KV-1S doesn't have an accurate gun, and he's probably reloading anyway, so I can move up. Take aim. Put a shot in. He's very foolishly waiting to reload. You can't do that against a Tog. Reload's just too fast. Now you can see here the only disadvantage we have is our speed. Trying to turn around now and go somewhere else takes a long time. Now I think it's Grievous up there. Yeah, but he is. He headed straight for the forest as soon as we took care of those other tanks. So he's a bit ahead of us, and he actually ends up doing a fair bit more damage. You see him shooting the Type 58 there. So he's just been very aggressive and just kept on moving in. You see here I'm stopping to shoot. Now Grievous, who has more efficiency than me, is a better player. He always says in his Tog he never stops moving, he just shoots on the move, because the gun is a very stable shooting platform, and you can just keep moving and keep shooting. But you know, I know he says that, I know he's right, but I still stop and shoot. Can't help myself. You see here they're trying to cap us, but because we can see into cap and the gun's pretty accurate, we're popping shots into these tanks that are trying to cap. You know, rate of fire combined with penetration and just being very hard to take out a Tog on your own, especially. Well, pretty much no tanks can take you out on their own in tier 6. Now it's fortunate that the Tog does not see any tier 8s, because tier 8s would probably tear you apart, because they do enough damage to nullify your hit point advantage, and they have great penetration, and tier 8 you might start to have trouble penetrating some of them. But because the maximum you see is tier 7, there's just nothing that can really wreck you. In fact, the tank I've found most threatening is the Hellcat. And the reason for that is the Hellcat can be invisible when it wants to be. So Hellcat can just hide in the bushes at range and shoot you and shoot you and shoot you, and you cannot see it and you cannot shoot back. And that is the danger in the Tog. When you're on your own like I am, if there was a Hellcat hiding up in the bushes there, it could just be shooting at me now and I wouldn't be able to see it. But if you can see a tank, it's in trouble. I'm just going to speed this up to 2 times because it's so slow. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. I have had some complaints that I shouldn't speed up the game because it makes it confusing. So I'm trying now not to speed up games unless it's in an area where it's not going to be confusing. The enemy has a Hellcat left. That's all I have left. And there it is. Oh, somebody else got it. End of the game. So that game was a bit of fun with the platoon mates, clan mates, good fun. Of course we're on comms with each other and laughing and mucking around. Now that was enough for a Class 2 badge in the Tog, and we also got Confederate for that game. And you can see there, not only did we hit a lot of tanks, but we did a fair bit of spotting too because of our coated optics, and already have quite a good view range, as I did explain in the review. So now we can see that, okay, we finished down the ladder a bit on experience. Grievous finished well up there. He did 1400 damage, I did almost 1100, and Eric did a little over 400, but we all survived, so it's a great tank for that, and we all made money. So let's have a look at the next screen, and we can see that we fired 16 shots, 11 of those were direct hits, and of the 11 hits, 10 of them penetrated, doing just almost 1100 damage. We only received 1 hit. Like I said, if people have an option, they'll generally shoot the other tank because obviously they want to reduce the number of guns that are shooting at them, and you're going to take the longest to eliminate. Therefore, they try and eliminate the other ones first. So as long as you're in a group, you're normally pretty safe, except from artillery. They will go for you because you're easy to hit. Now, enemy vehicles damage 7, destroyed 1, assistance damage 389, that's not bad. We also got 5 base defense points. I think Grievous was hitting them all before I could get to them. And look at that, 40,000 income. And oh, I got fined. I shot an ally there at some stage. Whoops, didn't even see that. So I lost 700 credits there. But anyway, we still made 36. So you can see that it's a very, very cheap tank to run. Now, I never bother using premium ammunition in it. You don't need to. So it's really, really cheap. You make money. Even when you lose, you make really good money in this tank. And that was, what did we do? 690 XP, and that was enough for Class 2. So you can see not a lot of people playing the tank. Next game. Alright, the map is Karelia. It's a tier 6 game, and as you can see we're in the top tier, and it's a great match for us because there's only like 5 or 6 tier 6 tanks on each team, and they haven't got much in the way of tier 6 heavies. They've only got a Churchill 7. Which means I can basically smash anything I hit. So it's good matchmaking for me. Did I mention the map is Karelia? I think I did. Alright, so as you can see, bloody slow tank. But let's move it up a little bit. Now, this is a map where we are attacking. So we have to attack their base and take it. If we fail to take their base, we lose. Or if we lose all our tanks, we lose. So all the enemy has to do is stop us getting their base. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit to 2 times. You can see a T1. I'm slowing it back down now to normal speed. There's a T1 heavy there, T6 heavy.
Enemy is hit.
As you can see, no problems with penetration.
Enemy armor is hit.
He should be moving. I don't know why he's not moving. Maybe he's underestimated my rate of fire.
Got him.
Someone else hits him and then I hit him. So he's gone. Now, you do tend, because the tank's so slow, I do tend to take a slightly different path. Normally I would have gone up the top of this hill, where the AMC is going now. But because it's so slow, especially uphill, I tend to take a more direct path. So you do end up in this tank exposing yourself to fire more than you probably would normally. But if you're used to driving British heavy tanks, you're used to very, very slow tanks, and you know how you have to use them. So if you're used to driving British heavy tanks, you will love, I reckon, if you like British heavy tanks, you'll love this tank. It's like the best British heavy tank ever. Now, the reason I'm standing here is I can see there's a Cheeto there and another tank, I can't remember what it was now, further up. And I'm a little concerned about them. And I don't want to just drive out in the open. One, they'll spot me, and two, they'll be shooting at me, and then other people will shoot at me. And you don't want to get caught out in the open with half a dozen tanks shooting at you where you can't shoot back. That's where the Tog gets nailed. Because you are a very big target. So I'm hoping this KV-220T moving up here will light some people up and I can start shooting them before I move. I'm just going to speed this up to 2 times. So the Cheeto's behind a rock still. And there's the Hellcat. So I'm slowing it down. We shot at the Hellcat, but we didn't hit it. We're a bit unlucky with that shot. And they're the 2 tanks I'm worried about. And there's a Panzer over there as well. So let's see if we can hit him. No, I missed. That wasn't a very good shot. I didn't lead the shot properly. He stopped. I don't know what happened to that shot. Went to I don't know where it went, but anyway, that one hits and we get a kill. So I decide now it's a bit safer to move forward, and the Cheeto's come out in the open. Big mistake. So I managed to nail him. Now we've been spotted. That would have been by the Cheeto, I'm pretty sure. Travelling at top speed, 14 kilometers an hour. Small undulations don't worry the tank too much. You can see just going over that little bit of a bump there. We slowed down to 13. It didn't slow down a lot. KV-1.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
And we tracked him. I'm just going to keep firing because he's tracked, so keep my gun aimed in and keep firing.
Got him.
And we got him. There you go. KV-1, no match for this tank.
Penetration.
So the Hellcat gets one into us, and as you can see, Hellcat does pretty good damage, and like I say, can be invisible if he's got bushes to cover, but he's using a rock at the moment, so when he does come out to shoot, I do get a chance to see him. Got hit by a Black Prince there as well, so we don't want to get stuck out in the open with tanks shooting us from multiple sides. I need to be a little bit careful here, so I'm using this rock for a bit of cover. Now the only tier 6 tanks they have left are the 2 Hellcats. Nothing else they have left other than maybe the Matilda Black Prince is really much of a threat to me. I can see this Crusader. I'm going to try and back up and see if I can get a shot on him. And he's just ducked into cover down a slope. And he's dead. Now KV-1 got him from the look of it. Just going to speed this up to 2 times again. I'm slowed it back down to 1 times now. So we've got a fair few tanks being lit up, but I haven't got shots on any of them. Ah, here we go. Once again he disappears. I'm hoping my shot tracked him. So I'm just going to keep firing. That shot went a bit wide. Now I didn't notice it there. There's a Hellcat up in front of me there. There he is. So this Hellcat's been giving me a few hassles. So instead of going round the bottom, which I think he probably is expecting me to do, I decided to actually go up the hill and try and go straight at him. And try and get him to take me head on. So as you can see, it's a bit slow up hills, but the elevation is giving me a shot on the Stug. Although it looks like he's moved. Oh, he's dead anyway. I'm going to speed this up to 2 times again. And look, I slow him back down to 1 time. The Hellcat's come up, and now he's in a position where he's stuffed. He really should be running. He should not be trying to face me. Big, big, big mistake. He should have backed up and run. Okay, so we've been hit now by the Panzer 4H. And he's hit me with HE ammo. And he's hit me again with HA. This time he only does 42 damage, and I think that's because my super heavy spore liner, I think the first shot may have actually penetrated, but the second shot did not. And this HE shot actually does no damage. So that's my super heavy spore liner kicking in. I think the first shot, you can see that I think he hit the top of my turret. There's a red mark there, and that's why he penetrated and did damage. But the other shots, he's just done 70, so he's not getting full penetration on me.
Enemy armor is hit.
Due to the super heavy spore liner. So he's probably thinking, why aren't I doing much damage? No, can't quite get the Black Prince there. Only 2 minutes remaining in the game, so we need to take the base or kill all the tanks. And time is running out for us to take the base. There's only 3 of us left, and there's 4 of them left. So, by the time I get to the cap, the game will be over. So we really have to kill the tanks. The only thing is, this is one of the limitations of the Tog, I'm too slow to chase the tanks. If they decide to just hide, which is what they should do, because that will give them the game, I really can't do anything. I'm going to speed it up to 2 times again. Only 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Now we've got a Hellcat at an issue 85. I'm not sure. Oh, there's their ERC. I'll slow it down again. I missed him. He doesn't seem to be aware of me being here. Black Prince, and we managed to take out the Black Prince. So if we could take out this Panzer IV and the ELC in the next 30 seconds or so, we'll win the game. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Oh! Oh, one shot will kill him. Oh, there's a Churchill. I didn't know they had a Churchill as well. Oh, okay, I misjudged. They've also got a Churchill. I don't think we can win. Panzer IV, they're behind me. No point in turning around, it'll take too long. We'll just shoot him this way, and we managed to kill him. Churchill 1 is now putting shots into us. Now that is a tank that is a danger to us, with no cover. Oh, and he finishes me off. Well done, Churchill. We have 1 tank remaining with no time left. Okay, so a good game. I got myself killed there at the end, but I pretty much had no choice but to drive out in the open to try and get to cap and try and get everyone to come out and attack me so I could hopefully kill them. Now, that was enough for us to get a mastery badge. We also got Top Gun and High Caliber. So, great game in the Tog. The next screen, we can see that obviously we finished on top for experience on our team, although it was a loss. But really, 712 XP, we look across to the other side, the only one that got more than that was the Churchill 7 on the other team. So we came second overall for experience on a losing side. That's pretty good. Yeah, did alright. So let's have a look at the next screen. You can see that we fired 24 shots, of which 18 were direct hits. Not bad considering the circumstances we were shooting under. And of the 18 hits, 18 penetrated, which is of course fantastic. Damage is 2,203, which is great in a tier 6 tank. Hits received 18, penetrations 13, so we managed to stop 5 shots from penetrating. The damage block armor was only 150 though, so I don't know what those 5 shots were from, because they obviously weren't very damaging tanks. We spotted 1, damaged 8 and destroyed 7, so 7 kills is always a good game, and damage due to assistance 73. We could see here that we made 54,000 credits, and we also received the 7,450 for courageous resistance because we won a medal on a losing team. So it just gives you the same as you would have got if you'd been on the winning team, which ends up with 52,000 profit. So it's a very profitable tank. With courageous resistance, our raw experience comes up to 1,113, and that was enough for mastery in the Tog. Great tank. Thank you for watching my review of the Tog II. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more tank reviews and gameplay, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.